Welcome to G1st's on-demand webinar channel. My name is Rod Horocks. I'm the manager of the Hub Mentors program on behalf of the LEP, and through this program we have designed and developed a number of webinars to support SMEs during and post this pandemic. Our first series focused on the government support that was available, such as the job retention scheme, business interruption loans and rent and rate relief. And these videos will be available in June. This first video that you are going to look at is one that has been taken from the second series that we designed called Moving Online. Many businesses have not experienced the benefits of having an online business or in a position where there isn't as operating as well as it could be. We'd recognise this within the LEP. Therefore, we designed 3 streams of webinars to focus on 3 core technologies. Video conferencing, such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams. E-commerce, which is the first one you will see now, and the latter one about the impact and the use of social media. In this first one, this will be led by 3 very good panelists. First of these will be John Taylerson from the Hub Mentor program itself, who will talk about his experiences of making his small businesses in food and drink more effective through online selling and distributing. Second is Craig Mitchell, MD of Craig Paul Design, who is managing and designing a number of e-commerce sites for SMEs across the county. And we'll talk about what are the technologies that you should be using, which make it effective. What are the key tips and tricks for making it an easy implementation and for continuing to make it effective? And the latter, Richard Cook, director of Severn Wye Smokery, who in his own words was a novice at this sort of technology, but has taken it, implemented it within his own business within 2 weeks and created a business stream which is helping to support and keep his business afloat during the pandemic lockdown. Please enjoy.
My name is John Taylerson. I've been in food and drink since starting on a farm and worked my way up and down the supply chain. Other than mypackme.com, which is a platform for food and drink producers, I started a food and drink business in 2007 that was selling coffee syrups to major multiple retailers and fine food. Of course, in 2008, we had the finance crisis, and by the end of 2008, I was staring at a blank wall at Christmas when we should have been selling tons of our produce. January 2009, we went online, including Amazon. And by the December of 2009, we were, in fact, I had a phone call from my web supplier saying, how do you know you've arrived? And basically Amazon had outbid us for our Google AdWords, so that when you put in to Google to find our business, you were directed to Amazon. The great thing about online is, as I like to say, cash up front, or in the case of Amazon, pretty soon after. You generally get paid every 14 days. Now, compared to, at the time, selling to major multiple retailers, if they didn't go bust on you, you were waiting 60 days or longer. The great thing about the internet and selling online is you can control the who and the where of your marketing, and obviously, the positioning, because you've got all these various communication channels. The other great thing about it is, of course, new product development. We'd get requests for new products, and basically we could put them up within half an hour, and if they didn't do very well after a few hours, we could take them down, and it needn't have happened. Now, if, like me, you lie awake at night wondering, is the internet all about aggregation or disintermediation? The key question is, really, if you've got a product or a service that you want to sell online, are you attractive enough, or your product, to get people to come to your site itself? Or do you need to go through those people who can attract lots of people, as in Amazon or whoever, the aggregators? I mean, I was going to talk about food and drink, but these principles apply to most things. And of course, until there's a Star Trek style food replicator, we're not going to be downloading food and drink items through the internet. So it is all about either the product and whether it's ambient, chilled or frozen, because of course ambient is going to work better than anything else with a long shelf life. But even then, it needs to be robust enough to go through the distribution chain. So the example I would use is the fruit cake. That might make it through Yodel's hands, but of course, as a Victoria sponge, by the time Yodeler finished it with it, may not. The only other thing I would say about online is about price. And I talk to a lot of people these days about pricing and online. And the key thing is not to be tempted into selling for less. If anything, there's a premium to be had for online. You don't want to undercut your existing customers. You certainly don't want your trade customers just, finding that you're selling for less. If anything, they want to find that you're supporting their pricing by claiming that premium for the convenience of selling online. Okay, that's me done. I think I'm passing to Craig.
Okay, thanks for that, John. Yeah, moving forward. So my name's Craig Mitchell. I've been running my own web design, graphic design, digital marketing business since 2007. Left school originally, went off to college, learned to be a printer, so kind of diversified myself from that. Went through the years working with different companies and ended up going through digital print and design, and then sort of more into the web and online. And then in 2007, I had the push to sort of set up on my own. So the focus has definitely changed for the business from the start. I mean, it was mainly kind of graphic design and print, but certainly over the last sort of 8 to 10 years, the physical print industry has kind of dropped back, with more focus being with online and things like that. So over the last 13 years, I've been lucky enough to work with some really good companies, smaller companies, more local companies, but also some bigger blue chips. I mean, like University of Gloucester, Cheltenham Town, people like Autoglass, Belron, Gloucester Rugby, Snap-on Tools, people like that, working with them, not just with graphic design, but with digital marketing and things like that. So in the last 5 years, I've seen a big growth in e-commerce and social media, the two sort of linked together, which has kind of forced us to shift our target and our focus onto that. So we don't do so much of the graphic design and the print, and we focus mainly on the web design, e-commerce and social media, digital marketing, that sort of thing. Obviously now in these current times that we're in, is a great opportunity for businesses to look to either remodel or look at how they're delivering their goods and services, whether that be by building a new website if their current website is kind of old and outdated, or it might need a bit of a refresh, or they're looking to maybe see how their business can kind of go online and can bring their goods and services online, and how that can kind of grow. There are loads of platforms. There are many platforms, software packages and systems that are available to companies to allow them to get building and get online. But in a bid to try and make things as sort of cost effective and easy to use as possible for my clients, I personally opt to use a platform called WordPress, and that specifically combined with a plugin called WooCommerce when e-commerce is required for customers. They're both open source. They're great for two sort of main reasons. One is that they're both constantly updated and developed for increased functionality and security, and have a wealth of off-the-shelf sort of plugins that are available for further improvement and delivery. Two is that Google absolutely loves WordPress. One for the fact that it can be, or was originally designed as a blogging platform, therefore it's packed full of content. Google loves content. And secondly, for the fact that it's SEO friendly. Google's also well known for loving mobile-friendly sites and will prioritize a mobile-friendly site over anything else. And with WordPress having a robust ability to create responsive layouts, this again is another tick in the box for Google. One of the other benefits of using open source platforms such as WordPress or WooCommerce is that you're not tied down to using an in-house developed system that's clunky, hard to understand, and will become outdated, or keeps you tied down to one particular designer or developer. It also allows you to add new functionality as and when these systems require it. It's modular. It may be that at present you don't necessarily want to have an e-commerce system, but you need to up your presence on the internet. So with WordPress, for example, it's fully modular, and you can add the e-commerce section at a later date. You can add other functionality at a later date. So it just keeps evolving. You can start small and grow and develop that as you go along. So I just thought that to finish off my small section, I just sort of go through a few things that would that I would kind of go through with the customer to get them thinking in the right track for building a new website. So firstly, think about what you want your website to do for you and your business. So how do you want that to improve your current offerings? How can it work for you going forward? Then use that kind of thinking to think about all these other sections. So photography, for example, is a really, really important part of both e-commerce and a brochure site. People don't want to sit and read reams and reams and reams of information. Yes, it needs to be there for Google to find you, but people like looking at pictures and sort of looking and making up their own sort of decisions from that. Following on from that, content is king, not just for product descriptions, but selling your business to the viewer in a very small window. So yes, you do, as I say, just going over that again, yes, you do need that information there, but it needs to be snappy, short, to the point. Get the person's attention in a very small window of opportunity. Also, you must consider things like your privacy policies, your data management policies, your terms and conditions, your returns policies, shipping, all that sort of thing. Then some thought needs to be put into the price of new products. Do your research, check out your competitors. Obviously, if you're the most expensive in a market, you're never going to make sales. There are so many shop windows on the internet that you'll stick out like a sore thumb. Shipping, again, check how others are doing this. No one wants to pay it. From my experience, I've had customers that experimented with free shipping weekends and have found that when they run those free shipping weekends, obviously they market it beforehand, but they'll run those free shipping weekends and they'll see an increase of sales of up to 50% when running a free shipping weekend. Management of process. Who's going to manage the orders? Where will the orders go? What's your internal system for ensuring that the back office is ready to support your virtual shop? Is all of that in place? Have you thought about all of that structure? Plan it, write it down, make a map. Payment gateways. There are many available. Again, there are some that will charge you a monthly fee to have a payment gateway, and then they'll charge you a fee per transaction. There are, and they're great if you're putting lots and lots of payments through your website, but I find with a lot of smaller customers when they're just getting started that things like PayPal and Stripe work really well. They're not the cheapest, but they will work. You don't pay a monthly fee on top of your transaction fee. But there are other options. There are so many options, but definitely research. Don't get tied up into something where you're paying monthly fees and then transaction fees when you've only got 4 or 5 sales going through to start. Obviously, the plan is to ramp that up, but to start with, you've got to get going. Then look at Google PPC. Is this worth allocating a budget? Do you have a budget? It's great. It's a great way to guarantee sales. However, be careful. I've lots of customers that have spent thousands of pounds with Google PPC and not seen a return on it. You've got to see a return on what you're spending. Social media marketing. is an absolute must for any e-commerce website. I've clients that are doing over £1,000 a month in sales just from traffic diverted to their shops. In fact, I've got another business that is a clothing brand, a fishing clothing brand. And again, that we, apart from a small budget of PPC, majority of our sales come from social media. So that is a really important platform to build an audience, to talk to your audience, and obviously then direct traffic to your website for sales. And communication, it's also used as a communication platform for customer service, that sort of thing. And then lastly is SEO management. Again, an absolute must, something that's really, really important for clients. A lot of customers say to me, oh, no, I don't need to worry about that. But we do the basics when we build a website. So we'll do all sorts of things like image descriptions, alt tags, page structures, making sure content is written to get the best traffic for the website. But much more can be done after the website is built and released. So ensuring that there's good authority for the domain and that the site ranks well, mainly in off-page SEO. So make sure you talk to your web developers, your web designers about sort of after-sales SEO packages and things like that going forward. So I hope I haven't bored you too much. And obviously I look forward to any questions that you might have at the end. And I think I'm passing on to Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard Cook. I'm the owner, founder of Severn Wye Smokery based at Westbury-on-Severn in Gloucester. The one thing I've quickly realised over the last 10-15 minutes, having listened to both John and Craig, is I do not have their level of expertise with online sales. So I'm a newbie. I'm new to online sales. But the current situation has forced me down that route. And it's a route that I've been meaning to go down for many, many years, and actually never had the time or energy to do it. But I suppose that is the only positive that's come out of this crisis, is that it's forced me to engage this online sale. The fish industry is a dinosaur, and I am a dinosaur in that field, yeah? I set this up in 1989. We process 200 tons, between 200 and 250 tons of fish a week. We have 4 factories, 250 staff. And on Friday, the 20th of March, 2020, somebody switched the lights off. Our customer base disappeared overnight. We are a food service business, and for years we've promoted ourselves as such, quite smugly in a way, yeah, going away from the rest of the industry that chased the multiples, the big volume in the supermarkets and the retail-based customers. We went the other way. We chased the airlines. We chased cruise line business. We chased chefs nationally. We export from around the world. Yeah, so we were promoting ourselves as a food service industry. And on the 20th of March, when the government announced lockdown, we were left with nothing. And when you're looking down the gun barrel, yeah, with relatively few options, you quickly have to come up with Plan B. And Plan B for us was an expansion of our little shop that we have on site. So realizing that we have an onus of responsibility to the local community to maintain that shop. So that was never going to shut, and we will continue to safely trade, or safely as we can trade, and support the local community. But getting our products out to a wider marketplace, this was just an opportunity. We had time, we had a desire, because we were forced to, we needed to. We had no options, yeah. We had fish all over the place. We have 3 weeks worth of product up us, yeah, and we needed to make a sale. So when you are in that situation, you very quickly learn a little bit about online. And I'm a big believer that you never improve unless you're prepared to fail first. And there are things that we've done that just haven't worked. But learn from those things, go forward, put those mistakes right, and try again. So we've been pushing hard now for 6 weeks. And today, we are so busy that I am stripping staff out of our production to help support our home delivery. Not because I genuinely know how that's happened, I don't, yeah? But we are getting people come online, visiting our website. I realized that we needed to improve our social media. I realized that we needed to get our brand, our service, and our product out there. I like the idea that we get paid up front. I mean, our industry is racked with credit, yeah? And the idea that we're getting paid up front is a real refreshing change for a food service dinosaur. So that has been a really pleasant, spin-off from this food service change to online sales. And anybody that's thinking about having a go, my advice is have a go. Absolutely speak to anybody that has any expertise within this field, draw from them any knowledge that they are prepared to impart to you, take that advice on board and have a go, because now is the time to have a go at making online sales. I'm happy to field any questions that may come my way. Thank you.